Daisy? Daisy, can you hear me, love?
She has Epidermolysis bullosa. She was born with skin as fragile as butterfly wings. Daisy hasn't got long left.
Stinky. Oh, he's harmless.
Daisy is about a little girl who's 13 years old, and she comes into contact with a war veteran who has become a drug addict. He's kind of like the Peter Pan of the story, stuck in Neverland, and she's kind of also been stuck in Neverland in her life, so they have quite a bit in common. They form a friendship. Basically, they help each other move on to the next part of their life. Daisy also helps him find love, which is something she'll never experience. So that's kind of the story of Daisy.
It doesn't give you the right to stop living.
Daisy.
Mom!
I was inspired to write Daisy when I met a little girl called Maisy, probably now going on 6 years. She was 4 years old at the time, and she had this rare skin condition.
Maisy was born in 2005 in October in St Thomas's Hospital. Normal pregnancy, normal labour, and when she came, Maisy was screaming the place down, and we instantly knew that there was something wrong, as Maisy had no skin on one of her feet, both of her hands, and a little spot on her nose. We wondered what it was, and obviously found out on the day that it could possibly be EB.
She was basically in such excruciating pain every day of her life, and still had a smile on her face and was just the most happiest child I've met. So for me to meet someone who was in so much pain since the day she was born, and to be this way made me want to reach out to all those other people who are in pain, and maybe self-inflicted pain, and they could choose not to be in that situation.
And the next day we had a EB nurse come up from Great Ormond Street Hospital called Jackie, didn't we? And she obviously explained that it was EB, didn't know what type it was, so that she would have to have a biopsy to find out what type of EB it was and what strength. We waited 5 days for the results while she was in special care unit, being looked after by the St Thomas's staff. And then we got the results back that Maisy had recessive dystrophic EB, which means both parents have to be carriers to then pass it on to their children.
Something I've taken from this massively is I go home at the end of filming and I hug my children and I hold them as tight as I bloody well can. And that's a gift that this has given me. That's the gift that you can take from things like that, is you look at your life and you sit in it, in the present, in the reality of it, and you see all the things that are really beautiful. And there are so many things that are incredibly beautiful about Maisy. She's a sparky little so-and-so.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and Amy as well. She's really present. Yeah. Maisy's mom, you know, she's just... And so many of us aren't.
Very, very stressful time. Didn't know what to expect. Just wanted to get my baby home. So the next step was to learn how to do the bandaging, learn all about the condition. Didn't know nothing about EB, never heard of it before. And then after 3 weeks of being in St Thomas's Hospital, we eventually took her home as we'd learned how to do all the bandages. We still needed help from the nurses coming home, visiting once or twice a week, helping with medications and all new bandages that she had to have. And as she's got older, it's got a lot harder and her skin's got a lot worse.
So my casting agent and producers had said it's probably better not to have a child with EB play Daisy. So I gave the supporting role of Isabella to Maisy. Now, Maisy and I have a relationship, so that was all great, but of course there was the fear for me, what if Maisy comes on set and can't act, or she doesn't take, you know, direction, or she's in a lot of pain and we can't film her? So all these kind of worries and concerns started getting to me and the producers. We wanted to get also other children in the film with EB. So the best way to do this is do a workshop, get them together, they meet us, they meet me, they meet the crew, and they meet the cast. You know, I told the cast about the workshop idea and they all loved it. The whole cast at the time attended the workshop and they thought it was a great time for them to meet children with EB, to really get to know the condition and just to get some understanding of what we're doing and what this project meant. Originally it was going to be an hour long. We ended up spending 4 hours with the kids. The kids were fine. Yes, of course, some of the children had to take a lot of breaks. Yes, of course, they couldn't do all the exercises that we had planned. However, they all inputted into the workshop in their own way. We had a really amazing moment where Maisy, basically, she couldn't do anything. She was in a lot of pain, so she had to sit down. And one of the activities was to be moving and dancing. So instead of her moving and dancing, she decided to sing for us all, which I thought was just so uplifting. Well, not only I think everyone in the class ended up crying while she was singing because it was just so powerful.
Bringing her home, we had to have a regular hospital visit to Great Ormond Street, not just for her skin, it had to be for ophthalmology, echo for her heart, various different things, hands, feet, and that was every 3 months to begin with. Then it went sort of every 6 months.
I have died every day waiting for you, darling, don't.
She was born with nails, but they lifted eventually after sort of 2 or 3 months. She lost all of her nails, and she's never had them back again, and she won't get them back again. Went for her toes as well. By the age of sort of 2 or 3 months, she'd lost the whole lot, and when they came off, it was excruciating, screaming, and where she couldn't talk, didn't know what was happening, so you sort of had to, it was always guesswork because you couldn't talk. So when she eventually was talking, it was a lot easier to deal with in her saying, this hurts, that hurts. She wasn't showing no signs of putting her feet flat to walk. She had to have an operation to release one of her toes that was fused to the bottom of her foot, and her both feet set in plaster so that her feet were straight because they were sort of dangled down when she was attempting to walk, because she wouldn't put her heels down because it was so painful.
I have died every day waiting for you, darling.
She has regular throat stretches from the age, because she gets esophageal blisters and her esophagus tightens up, which means that she can't get food down or drink down. So it could be quite dangerous.
What's your favourite food?
Steak, pizza, and
Steak pizza?
Steak and
ice
pizza
cream.
and ice cream. Before bandage change, she used to have morphine, but everything's changed as she's got older. Certain things didn't work for a while, so then they would give her different medications, oxynorm, gabapentin. She has to have antihistamines to help with her itching. They're quite strong antihistamines. She has to have iron medicine because obviously she loses blood, and it obviously comes out with the wounds and whatnot. So she needs to have iron medicine every day so that her iron intake doesn't go down.
I love you for 1,000 more.
Well, I guess why we did the workshop was to teach them how to act and also to get them to want to be in the film. But what we got out of it was so much more. We got to know these kids. The actors were all moved Us as a team, as a crew and a cast, really came together after the workshop. We wanted to tell Daisy in the right way, and we wanted to tell Maisy's story. We wanted to show people what they go through and how, you know, and they still are such powerful children. So, you know, at first I thought the workshop was for the kids, but after the workshop I think I realized it was for us really, to understand what we were doing, and to really know that this is important, and to continue down the journey with all the passion and the zest for it that we had at the beginning. So we decided to do a rehearsal, not for the actors only, but for the makeup, to test it out, because it was really important for me to make sure that I made EB look correct. It was also important for me to do a rehearsal with the actors, the leads, with Maisy. You know, Maisy had the workshop and she was brilliant at it, but she hadn't actually done any lines, she hadn't done any relationship building with the actors. So I decided to put the actors with Maisy in a room, meet her, and get to know each other. On top of it, I invited the parents to come of the character Daisy. The actors that I had chosen for EB had never heard of the illness EB, and their really one wish was to meet the mum, you know, to meet Amy, which is Maisy's mum, and to meet her and to understand what she goes through every day, and what she feels, what she has to do, her routine. So we did a rehearsal which brought us all together, and that also was another time that I really felt we got to know the illness, the condition, we got to know Maisy, we got to know the story so much more deeply than we had known it before.
Turning, quiet, please.
18, take one, off, full stop. Up.
And action.
Altogether, the makeup takes just over 2 hours. Then I've got the hands, which is my real hands, covered in cat plastic glue, a special safe glue, and then there's also latex, and then a bit of colour. Because obviously EB, they don't have fingernails, so we had to cover mine and make them look more blistery. Then covered with bandages. Then I've got the makeup on the face and the neck, which is made out of latex and colour, most of it, some silicone as well, which is good. It's an experience for me. I've never been in makeup that long. It's actually really interesting, and in a way, it's odd, if that makes sense, because, I mean, I love the production, I love the crew, I love the cast, but then when Maisy was on set, a girl who actually has the condition EB, it was very much, she's so kind, like, she will happily talk, but you can just see, and it was the feeling that at least I can take it off at the end of the day. She can't take it off at the end of the day.
To be honest, I was aware of a disease that kids did have, where they had this very weak skin, but I didn't know it was called EB. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't dream of ever, meeting someone who suffered from it, and the experience of, meeting little Maisy, and we had these kids are just incredible. What they go through every day with the kind of bandaging and the pain that they must be in constantly, just is heartbreaking.
Depends on what time she gets up. Sometimes she might take longer getting up, but sort of normally between 7, half 7. Then we undress her, we get all of her old bandages off, see if there's any new blisters that have popped up overnight. We lance them for her, and we get all these ready, and literally we put them all back on nice and neatly with her creams. And then we get her dressed.
I just done this scene where I wave at Stinky, aka Max.
It all varies in how long it takes each morning. She might have more blisters than normal, might need more bandaging or creaming than normal, but it can take anything from an hour and a half to 3 hours on bath days. I mean, they don't come very often, bath days, because they're so sore and painful for her, screaming in agony, and being dropped into water with open wounds just doesn't sit well with her.
Blush!
Blush!
If you do have a bath, how long is that?
Normally we sort of try and leave her in there for around about half an hour.
Okay.
in the bath, just so that she can soak all the old, gets like scabs and loose skin. If they come off, sort of, she can just sit there and relax, play with a few toys.
I'm the cool one around here.
You're the cool one. Are you a cool dude?
Yeah, I'm the
You know them.
Keeping Maisy in the film, because that was a hard thing for people to be like, you can't have a sick girl on set. Everyone was like, you know, she can't do the hours, she can't, you know, she's dying. Well, actually, she proved everyone wrong. She was willing to be on set all day. She's never complained once. She's done all her lines perfectly. She was just a delight to have on set. Yes, there was times she cried and she was in, but you'd expect that. So, you know, I think I'm really happy that I stuck to my guns and stuck to believing that actually she's part of the story and she needs to be in the film. And I couldn't have done it without her as well, and her mum and her family being supportive of the film and letting us film her and her state and how she is, and allowing me to tell the story through their eyes as well.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy being on a film set?
Yeah,
Yeah? What did you enjoy the most about it?
money.
The money? Ah, amazing! Oh, then you're in the right industry. So what would you do? What were you going to do with your money?
Spend it on more LPS.
More LPS.
And get a laptop.
Did you enjoy playing Isabella?
Yeah,
What did you think about the character of Isabella?
nice.
And so would you prefer some baddies in the next film you're in?
No.
No? What kind of film would you like to be next?
Well, Stinky's mum is bad because she locked him in a room.
I was nervous about meeting Maisy, to be honest, when they first said that we were going to do some rehearsals with her, because I didn't know how I'd react to seeing a girl who's going through this disease. And you meet Maisy and you know that you just have to pretend that the disease doesn't exist and treat her like anybody, you know, who isn't suffering from something. And she's just an incredible little force of nature, you know. She showed me these little YouTube videos that she makes and laughed her head off. And at the end of the day, she's just a little 9-year-old girl who's going through this crazy thing in her life, but she's still into YouTube and all the normal things. So, you know, I was trying to get on her funny side. I think she called me weird on many occasions while I was trying to break her. But we had a lovely scene together where she kind of spoke to me from the bed. She didn't get one line wrong. She was incredible, and yeah, hats off to her.
The last 2 weeks we've been just cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting, and it's been breaking my heart and breaking my heart and breaking my heart, basically.
I'm sorry, but visiting hours are over. Daisy needs to rest now. You can come back tomorrow if you like.
Would you give that to Daisy for me, please?
Sure will.
And tell her that I'll see her really soon.
Take care now.
I think that Maisy's performance is amazing. I think being that she isn't a professional actress, she has such a great screen presence. She is very comfortable in front of the camera, and her performance is completely natural.
Such a nice story, I guess, and a dream for every actor to attend a film festival. So, of course, a documentary about a little girl becoming an actress, a perfect ending would be her attending on the red carpet at a film festival and getting applause for her work. She'll get to see herself on a massive screen and in a cinema, and fingers crossed everyone claps for her performance, as I do believe now that we've cut the film, her performance is just brilliant. You know, if there was an Oscar for a short film supporting actress role, I think she would definitely get it.
Thanks for coming out tonight. How many excited to say that we have the UK premiere of Daisy and Postpartum, two fantastic short films. We'll have a great Q&A afterwards with Nancy and the cast and crew. And great to meet you. Wow, you can certainly put away all this food and drink. Is our lovely star down there. So good to meet you, it's so lovely.
Maisy, how did you feel about making the film, babes?
Good!
Is there anything else? Well done. Amazing. We love you.
You love them too? She was absolutely brilliant in it. Such a natural little actress, isn't she? But yeah, seeing her face, and she was so proud today, you know.
I think, yeah, she did brilliantly.
Yeah, she was really good. I just heard she'd got a cameo role, but actually she had a bit more than that. And yeah, she was great.
She did really well. We are very proud of her.
Yeah.
And Maisy was so gorgeous.
She was incredible as well. I think we were saying earlier that she was probably the most professional. She was the stillest and the most sort of honest and simple and simply played and beautiful, you know. It was a real treat to watch. It was really quite sort of warming, you know. Yeah.
She's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Maisy's clearly excited. Come on, Maisy, what do you think?
Good!
What else do you think of it? Besides good.
Good!
Do you like your scenes?
Yes. But they cut one out for some weird reason. Which one did they cut? The one when I was waving to Stinky in the corridor.
We'll put that in the behind the scenes in the documentary for you.
Yay!
So how did it feel for you, Patty, to see that for the first time?
Amazing, really incredible.
When I first met Maisy and her mum, and I think what really struck me was just having the explanation of what she has to do every day, of changing all the dressings, of when she has to wash her, how painful that is, and that's not, you know, for most parents, that's a sort of a nightmare that we hope never happens during our child's childhood, that we have to do something to them that hurts them.
I remember you saying actually that it's that sort of irony, isn't it, that the person that loves you the most has to cause the most amount of pain on a regular basis.
And they're the only one you trust to do that. And that just, it's not even that it hooked me in, it just took hold of me, that idea, because that's what children do. They take, you know, they will play up and take things out on their parents because they feel safe to do that. And that is taking that everyday reality of most parents to a really heartbreaking extreme. And that's what they do every day, and they just do it. You know, they just do it.
With such strength as well.
Is there a cure for EB?
No, there's no current cure for EB. They're working on things, but nothing as yet. It's a long road. They need lots and lots of funding for things like that. Maisy's, you know, been put forward for things and not been able to have it because she's got antibodies fighting against what, you know, they wanted to use. But again,
Collagen 7.
Yeah, fighting against the collagen 7. But as yet, there's nothing known that's an actual cure. So.
Looking for a road that runs away, turning anywhere to lead my heart from danger. Stumble through the moments of the day that bring me down. So I'll stand with all I have, but always holding back. I've got to fall So